Well, welcome back, everybody, to Between Two Sermons. Happy post-Christmas and post-New Year's edition. Great to be
January. Here we are.
back right here in the chairs with you again, Rob.
It's great to be back.
Yeah. And we're starting a brand new series this time on Ephesians called Life on Purpose, kind of with Ephesians 2:10 as the main theme verse, if you will.
Correct.
Kind of anchoring the whole thing.
That's right.
But maybe before we even get into our conversation today, give people a little bit of perspective about why you chose Ephesians
it's a good
as
question.
a book.
We've been doing vision work as a staff and end board in 2025, even in 2024. What's next? What is the church in general supposed to be about? Great Commission, but what are we called to do? In the book of Ephesians, I think I said this in the introductory sermon of 2 Sundays ago. What is kind of a book about the church's the vision of the church, capital C. There's no, particulars of this congregation. Most of Paul's letters, he talks about, people and situations, behavior, theology. This document's sort of evergreen. It could have been written any time. It's like, what would I like my marriage to be about? What would I like, the Declaration of Independence? I mean, it's the kind of document that says, what is the church in God's eyes? How did it come about? And what does it look like in its ideal form? And so for that reason, I've been thinking about it, and because of discussions we've been having at Browncroft, and so that's the main reason. And then the idea of purpose. There's a lot of ways you could subtitle the book, but as you said, Ephesians 2:10, we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus. That God has prepared for us good works to do in advance. Wow, what a statement. Yeah. And so those were the big ideas that brought me to this book and brought us to the book. Yeah,
that's great. And as a little bit of a background, Ephesus, major bustling city. Yeah. As you say, this isn't written to us. We don't get keys on the specific people there, but Ephesus as a church was placed in a major booming city.
Yeah, well, the largest, the provincial capital in all of what was called Asia Minor, we'd call it Turkey today. But that region of the Roman Empire, this was the provincial capital.
Yep.
And was probably the largest, I think it was the 4th largest city in the Roman Empire, but the largest one in the area.
Yeah, you had the temple to Artemis.
Yeah, that's
there.
right.
That was one of the major things that brought people from all over the Roman world there.
Right. Destination city for that reason. Yeah.
Destination city for that reason. As far as the church goes in the city, you had Paul, obviously, there in the beginning, but then he leaves Timothy there, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He's there twice, Acts 19 and 20. He's there quickly, and then he goes back, and then he's there for the longest, at least recorded ministry stay for Paul, who was a busy man when the church didn't exist. He's starting it or helping to start it. Was 3 years. It's mentioned in Acts 20. So that's very significant that the guy who has been charged to start the churches spends 3 years of his life there. But then shows, to your point, how significant it was. Then later, his protege, he had more than one, but his sort of key protege, Timothy, who there's 2 Bible books with his name on it, we believe became the leader after him, or the pastor. So a lot of significance.
Yeah, and even having the book of Revelation, you have Ephesus, the church of Ephesus is the first church listed.
That's a great point.
In the churches that Jesus gives, 7 churches that Jesus gives a message to. Ephesus is the first one.
That's right. So there's a
churches.
good point. That matches up.
Yeah. So this is a very, very important letter that we're talking about. And I think as we begin it, you talked last week about the first couple of lines, but today we'll dive into probably one of my favorite passages. It's one of my go-to passages in the New Testament. Ephesians, when I'm kind of thinking, what does God really think about me in this moment? Like when I have a down day, or I'm kind of in a funk.
Yeah.
Ephesians 1, 3 through 14 is one of the places that I turn. And I don't always bring my Bible here to these things, but I have the Bible in front of me this time, just because this passage is so rich like preaching one sermon on this, how do you do it?
Right.
How do you do it?
No, it is. Some will say that, and you could preach a series on it.
Yeah,
no question.
Yeah. So you pointed out a few different things. So let's take them one at a time.
Yeah.
The first thing you pointed out here is, for he chose us in him before the foundation of the world.
Yeah.
He chose us.
Right.
For those of us who have believed on Jesus, he chose us before the foundation of the world. This is all set up, as you said, in one run-on sentence in Greek.
Right.
It's all one.
Right.
It's supposed to engage us emotionally.
That's right.
As well as theologically in our head.
And probably the emotionally first.
Yeah.
And then we get it out of order, and that's what causes some challenges.
So why did you pick to highlight? Because there's a million things in here you could highlight. Why is that the one that you chose?
I think because of its level of importance. Some would say, this isn't my words, but somebody I read said verse 3 and 4, the two first verses, not only are the head verses of that stream of the rest of the chapter, but this writer said of the entire book. So the entire book of Ephesians, this was saying, is commentary on, you were chosen by God before the foundation of the world in order to be holy and blameless before him in love. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. So I thought it was worthy of part of the sermon, or to lead, because that's such a big, important point. And just jumping right into the controversy, I'm anticipating your next question, is back to your good point of saying, what's the point? Is this the way this is written? It's like anything else, any other document that you would write. What's the motivation? Is this a history book? Is this a love letter? Is this an instruction manual?
Right.
I think this is an act of praise. This is an act of, I say spontaneous. I'm sure you thought about it because it's a book, but it's an act of worship. Some would call it doxology. So number one, he's saying that, and the essence, even when to say we were chosen before the foundation of the world, why even say that? As I said in the sermon, it's not a time reference. It's not 5 minutes before something. Right. He's saying, I want you to know that it was in God's heart. Yeah. You were in God's heart. Yeah. Number one. And number two, that does say something even about those great big ideas of redemption and love and forgiveness. All those are words that are there, these theological doctrines. It's saying that God is giving you these gifts. He redeemed me. He forgave me. In some ways, it really wasn't about me. I'm not chosen because I was really good at math or really good at keeping my commitments, or I was very law honoring, just as three quick examples. So that seems to be so much of what he's trying to say that I thought that was worthy of calling out.
Yeah, it reminds me, so as you were talking, it kind of reminded me of the gospel according to Rudolph, as I like to say. The island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
I
remember. I don't know.
Do you remember these
I
guys?
Do. I have no idea if that's even on TV anymore, but I know it very well.
You have this island of freaky toys that don't go anywhere, and yet they're chosen by this king lion guy, and they don't bring anything to the table, so to speak.
Right. No, that's it.
But they're still
no kid would want them.
Right. No kid would want them, but yet they're special and they're chosen.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. It's a great analogy.
Yeah, and that's us.
That's right.
Yeah. And unless we let that sink into our soul,
that's right.
I think either the pride of thinking we're something better than we are,
right,
or it's really pride too, but the opposite of feeling that sense of shame.
Yes.
And,
that's right.
Like I am nothing.
Yeah.
That sense as well. If you don't realize that, once you realize that God chose you.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It levels the
He chose you in the other big word that's here, and we didn't go into it all, as you say, it's to be a series, but his grace.
Yes.
He talks about motivated, lavished on his grace, that these, you might say, the underlying motivation, if there is one here, for God's choice is grace, which is a synonym of love, or it's used in conjunction with. In other words, it's unmerited favor. So that that's powerful. That's meant to be a huge motivator, not to inspire pride, but to inspire gratitude and humility and in some ways good feeling. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but wow. Yeah. You chose me. You, even though I don't think I'd choose myself, right? As Luther said, as I look at myself, I don't think I can be saved, right? I wouldn't shave myself,
right?
If I was the architect or the God, if I was God, Luther said, but God says I would.
Yeah. Isn't that?
Yeah, it's huge.
That in and of itself is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the passage goes on and to tell us, I think the next thing you highlighted was we've received every spiritual blessing in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
And then he goes on and lists a bunch of those spiritual blessings. I mean, not only were you chosen, then you were blessed on top of that.
Right. And it's interesting. I mean, the older I become as a Christian, even if I did understand this passage earlier in my life, I don't understand it now fully, of course, but even if it was less so in the past, I think I always underestimated, because spiritual blessing to me means, less than. I mean, in an earlier thinking, I'd rather have material blessings. I'd rather have a new car than a warm feeling. But as I've gotten older, when I look at things like acceptance and forgiveness, and spiritual power, whatever, the things listed in this passage, are not exhaustive, are much more valuable than a new car. And that's what he's saying. So he's saying God not only has, because God's also done a lot of other, I would give God credit for most of my material blessings as well, but he's saying what God has given us in Christ is he's given us all these things that are true, the most important things. The currency of the heart, forgiveness of sins, the assurance of salvation. The Spirit is a guarantee of my ultimate inheritance, which would, let's say, means heaven and eternity. These spiritual blessings also God has given to us on top of just choosing us.
Yeah. So just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's infinite how far you could go with some of this stuff. And then he does that. He blesses us in that way so that then we can be part of his plan in the world.
Yeah. Which is where the book's going. Back to your point about Ephesians 2:10. He's sort of, some people would say, I don't know if this is true, the first 3 chapters are more about worship, the last 3 are about sort of practical living. Probably some truth to that. And he's saying, listen, before I ask you to do something important, you might say this to your son or your daughter, before I do this, I want to let you know I really love you. I want you to know I believe in you. I want you to know that I'm confident that you're going to be able to do this. So in that sense, he's saying, after all this chosen thing, all these blessings that I'm sort of unloading on you or giving to you, I want you to know it's not just for blessing's sake. I have a plan that includes, we'll see in the study, the renewal of the entire universe, okay, and which includes people and the earth, and I want you to play a role in it. You, John, you, Rob, as well as other people, and that's all there. It's teased out more, but that's all there.
It's such an encouraging passage. So I'd really, really encourage all of you, spend some time in Ephesians 1:3-14. Maybe even read it every day this week and sit in it and look at the promises that God has in this passage. And think about which one of these means the most to you at this stage of your life. So even if you're in the context of your small group right now, or you're thinking about this on your own, this is a great one to share with each other. Read through this passage, maybe on your own, and then share. Which one of these promises that God says about you
do I need
the
acceptance?
Most?
Do I need forgiveness? Do I need assurance? That's a great exercise. You might say I need them all, but maybe right now in my life, where would I most, if I could ask God for more here.
Right.
And that's back to spirit shaped.
Yes.
The spirit ultimately that ends 13 and 14, we didn't read it in this quick discussion, but it ultimately, sort of the end of this passage says, you've been given an agent to help you realize and make real these promises. And so maybe thinking of one or two right now in your life might be a great way to apply this.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, Rob.
Yeah.
Thanks for leading us in this time. And thank you for joining us. And we hope to see you right back here next week on Between Two Sermons.